Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check as I'm chess. What's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine. From pain, it's a blessing, new focus, no guessing. Just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11 is...
What up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of Laces Out Live. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. Y'all know my co-host. He's a week behind, but he got it fixed now. Week 13, Pickems. What up, Mike Jones? What up?
What up, man? Yeah, my bad. My bad. It's been a long week. Been a long couple weeks, man. Holidays coming up, everything. I don't know, man. My bad. Did I change it? Is it fixed?
Yeah, it says week 13, Pickems now.
All right.
Yeah. Where we stand at on the Pickems front. I have no idea how I did last week.
Okay. You said I was going to get you on a couple of them, and I did. Retook the lead. I went 10-4. You went 8-6, which now there's the standings, big boy. There's the standings right there. Yes, sir.
Crazy, we're just one game apart.
It's insane. It really is.
I mean, that's a lot of games to pick, you know what I mean? For one game.
It's gonna come down to the wire, just like it did last season, man. Like we were right down to the wire last season. So
Yeah. What a game last night. The Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. I ain't gonna lie, I thought Buffalo was gonna pull it out. Usually Buffalo pulls out victories. They have struggled at Texas Stadium the last few years, but man, it just, to me, last night just showed how good the Texans defense is.
Nasty.
Their front four is something phenomenal. Sacked Josh Allen 7-8 times, somewhere around there. Most times Josh Allen's ever been sacked in his career. And Buffalo Bills had an injury scare there at the end. Josh Allen was up shaking that wrist.
Yeah, seen that.
But just constant pressure on Josh Allen like I've never seen before. And the Houston Texans were able to pull off the victory. But to me, this just showed how far away Buffalo is from truly competing for a Super Bowl. This team has regressed. They're not as good as they have been in prior years. They have major concerns. Shakir's a nice weapon, but what else do they have besides James Cook and Shakir on offense? The offensive line The right tackle was beat up, hurt last night. They ended up replacing him the last drive or two of the game. And the defense just has not been very good.
Right.
But yeah, Houston got themselves back in playoff contention. Buffalo falls another game behind the Patriots. And this season is just so wacky that I think this is going to be one of the more interesting playoff races that we've seen in recent memory. I just think there's going to be so many teams vying for that final playoff spot because it's just week in and week out, you have no idea who's going to win. Any given team can beat any given team this year. And I know that's the case any game, you know what I mean? But this year, more than any year, it feels like you just don't know. You just don't know what's going to happen in these games. And, you know, it's hurting my pockets, honestly, but because I feel like I'm picking winners, you know what I mean? Like last night when I picked the Buffalo Bills on DraftKings, I thought for sure that was one of the games that, yeah, Buffalo's going to pull that out, and they just didn't. They just didn't. Yeah. What'd you think about last night's game?
I mean, you know, Buffalo came out. They started pretty quick. I mean, they pretty much beat them in all the categories except for sacks. It's just that Houston defense, man. Eight sacks. Think about 8 sacks in a game, and Buffalo didn't get none. And, you know, Cook had a good game. I mean, he had a 45-yard touchdown. I think he had almost 100 yards. It's not like they weren't playing halfway decent football, especially with that defense. But I don't know, man. That, you know, Josh Allen threw an interception. It was a tip pass, obviously, but it definitely wasn't the way I expected it. You know, we started the season, and I'm thinking Buffalo is going to be one of the top teams. You know, I did say I did say I don't think KC is going to be the normal KC, which, you know, that's seems to be the way they go, and they could actually miss the playoffs. But to have Buffalo losing these games when it really matters, it's really concerning. It doesn't look like this is going to be their year to actually make a stomp to the Super Bowl again. And, you know, what happens if they don't make any noise? What happens if they don't do anything this year? Do they start making changes? I mean, they've been going with what they've had for the last few years, and I don't know. Josh Allen just doesn't have enough weapons, I think. And that's like you said. But it was a good game. I enjoyed watching it. It sucks, like you said, in the betting, because I got my Cook touchdown. I needed a Nico touchdown, and I needed a Josh Allen touchdown. I mean, Josh Allen usually gets down inside the 2-yard line, usually at least sneaks one in a game or so. But that all backfired on me. And I put Chubb in. I had Chubb getting 45 to 60 yards or something like that. Something simple. And what's his name? Was it Marvin or Maven or something? Whatever.
Marks.
Yeah, Marks was just doing all the running and making moves. So I totally picked a lot of that wrong. And I don't know. They got a lot of issues. I can't. It sucks because I wouldn't mind Buffalo doing good. I always root for Buffalo if the Giants are doing bad, which I guess is every year. But I mean, that's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes, man.
Well, I think the problem with the Buffalo Bills is one of the same as the Kansas City Chiefs, is that these teams rely too much on their world beater quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like you just put too much on the shoulders of a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen, and you don't really worry about building the team around them, giving them weapons because they're able to do so much on their own. But at the end of the day, like, you know, Pat's been able to win Super Bowls. He's got one of the greatest head coaches of all time. They've had a pretty good defense, but Pat hasn't been able to do it on his own. I think he's had a better team than Josh Allen's had in Buffalo. Obviously, better coaching.
Yeah.
But do you think you can't? They gave away Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? I don't think that was a smart move. Yeah, did they win Super Bowls after that? Yeah, they did. But I think that they would have won more games. They would have been more of a dominant team if they kept a player like Tyreek Hill. And I think Josh Allen needs more weapons. I think they need to do what they can to take advantage of the rest of Josh Allen's career, because he's starting to creep up there in age.
Yeah.
And you don't want
He's not gonna be able
to
to
sit
run.
there. You don't want to sit there and say when it's all said and done that you wasted Josh Allen's career by not giving him enough.
Yeah.
I don't care if you have to mortgage the future. You know what I mean? You trade away draft picks from 2 years from now. You go and you load up and you give Josh Allen a Super Bowl roster. You
Yeah.
got to do it. You got to do it. You got to
And you got to do it now.
pay the salary cap. You got to max out salary cap. You gotta mortgage the future, and you gotta give Josh Allen a team and at least pull off one Super Bowl victory during Josh Allen's illustrious Hall of Fame career. Because if you don't, it's Jesus, what a waste. What a waste.
Yeah, one of
at
the
least Pat,
one of the
at least
best
Pat's
one of the
got
best
some,
teams
you know what
for
I
the
mean?
last few years and not get nothing. I mean, that would be what kind of legacy would that be for Josh Allen? That would suck if I was Josh Allen just thinking about that. But if you give him one more receiver, one more weapon to take a little bit of that defensive pressure off, because right now he can use his legs. And like you said, though, he's getting up there. And how long is he going to be able to do that? How long is he going to be able to sustain that? How long is he going to be able to go without before he starts getting injured? There's just too many questions. You're right. I think they got to move on this quick.
Well, not even just receiver. Like stack the defense up, do something. You got to do. Josh Allen, he can go out there and get you points. You know what I mean? Would it be nice for him to have a true number one receiver? Absolutely. I mean, I think, when they got Stephon Diggs, and I don't know if I even consider Stephon Diggs a true number one. I don't put him in the category of a CeeDee Lamb or anything like that. He's a very good wide receiver. But he did wonders for Josh Allen. Josh Allen was kind of considered a bust a little bit before he got Stephon Diggs, and then his career took off. But build the defense up. Give Josh Allen a killer defense where he doesn't have to score 30 points a game to win. You know what I mean? Because Josh Allen-led offense is going to get you 20 to 25 points a game regardless. But their defense has been so porous this season that you got to score 30 plus to win.
Right.
And I just would hate to see him get his career wasted. Wait, let me take that back. I would love to see his career get wasted as a Miami Dolphins fan. But as a football fan, I know what it's like to have a all-time great quarterback not win a Super Bowl. They're never really considered to be an all-time great like the Super Bowl winners are. Dan Marino is my favorite player of all time, one of the greatest throwers of the football of all time, maybe the greatest. And the fact that he never won a Super Bowl, they don't mention him like they do Joe Montana or John Elway or Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. They just don't talk about Dan the same way. And Josh Allen's in danger of falling into that category.
Yeah. Yeah, man, that's the whole point, right? Championships. I mean, you can have MVP seasons every season, but at the end of the day, if you ain't walking away with a ring, I mean, that's the whole purpose of this business. So, yeah, they definitely got to make some moves, man. It would be a shame if they don't make something out of something.
So we're going to do our Week 13 Pickems. We're going to break down the games real quick, and then we'll give you our mid-season. I know it's a little bit past mid-season, but the Miami Dolphins were out of bye, and I took a couple days off of the Fin Posse podcast this week because it's a bye week. There's not a lot of news. So I took a couple days off, and I was thinking about who's the mid-season MVP, offense, defensive player of the year, those type of things, coach of the year. And we'll give you those winners so far through 12 weeks of the season. So, Mike, what game we starting with first?
Well, might as well start right on the top left of our list. We'll go Jags that are given 2.5 points against the Cardinals. I don't know. I keep saying I don't like the Jags, but I mean, they keep winning. They do win. They're winning games. They're 6-4. They're up there, but man, I just don't like the Cardinals. I'm gonna pick Jags on this no matter what. So, I think the Jaguars have a more talented team. I did see something about Arizona possibly starting to trade away people. I don't know if they're gonna start doing that at the end of the year and start a rebuild or what they're gonna do, but I swear I seen something pop up in that. But I'm gonna take the
Wait,
Jags.
did I make a mistake? Is it week 12?
I thought it was week 12. So you made the mistake. Oh my God.
I'm a week ahead, maybe.
Oh my God. Now I
Uh,
got to make some edits again. This is crazy.
oh.
All right, so I'm taking Jacksonville Jaguars over them stupid ass Cardinals 27-17.
Yeah, Arizona's weird. They've been in most games this year. Jacksonville's been kind of weird too, inconsistent, but still able to pull out victories. What is Arizona going to do at quarterback? Kyler Murray is obviously not the answer. Jacoby Brissett has played decently. I think I got to go with the Jags. I got to take the Jags in this one, just simply because I feel like Jacksonville has been more consistent, even though both these teams I feel like are inconsistent.
Right.
If that makes sense.
No, it definitely. It's just one of those wacky years. But I mean, the Jags are always inconsistent. You know, Cardinals have been inconsistent the last couple years. They're just those teams. And honestly, I think the Cardinals are doing better without Kyler Murray. That's for sure. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Kyler Murray is. I mean, the kid's talented. You know, obviously we know what he can do with his feet. I just think he doesn't. I don't think he puts his all into the game of football.
I mean, I think he's just too short, to be honest with you. I think he can't see a lot of the field. I think that's a big problem. He kind of reminds me of Russ. He can hit you down the field, but those are few and far between. And I think he just literally lacks the height in the pocket. Like he can't see over his lineman that well. That's a problem anywhere. So, I mean, that's my opinion anyway. I don't think he's a terrible player, but I don't think he's elite. I don't think he's what the Cardinals should be going with at this point. Did you give me a score? Did you pick?
Yeah, I said Jacksonville. I go with 24-17. I'll be right back. I gotta get a toothpick.
All right. So next we're gonna go Browns and the Raiders. Browns and the Raiders. Raiders are getting 3 points, giving 3 points. Sorry. Man, I can't stand Geno Smith. Geno just looks horrible. He's good for an interception, at least in a game. And, you know, I don't think highly of the Browns either. I wonder if Shador is starting this week. I didn't really look into that. But Myles Garrett, man, he's on a roll. He's leading the league in sacks with 15. You know, this is a Raiders-Browns game. This, you know, you can expect it to probably be a good game. It'll probably be really close, but then again, Myles Garrett, he's just nasty. Not really interested in this. I think it's a fairly low-scoring game. I think we're gonna go. I'm going with the Browns on this one, 17-13. The Browns.
Yeah, I think Cleveland's defense is going to be too much for the Raiders' offense. I think Shador Sanders comes out and plays well. The Raiders need a new quarterback. Geno has not played Geno football this year. Game manager, he hasn't been very good. So I'm gonna take the Browns. Myles Garrett is an absolute monster, one of the best defensive players in the league, if not the best defensive player in the league. And like I think Shador Sanders plays well. I like Judkins at running back. I think this is the start of the Shador Sanders era in Cleveland.
Yeah, he had a rough week last week, but
he did.
He's got he's got that run back 8 to 10 yards and then takes the sack, and that you can't. That's the one thing I'm happy that Jackson Dart has done. is he doesn't run backwards. Very few sacks of where he's losing too many yards. But hopefully that gets the jitters out. I mean, I was talking about it. I was all down for picking Shador at the end of last year. So I hope he does. I hope he shows up, and we'll see what happens. But I took the Browns too. Did you give me a score there?
I'm gonna go 17-13.
That's what I said. All right, NFC East rivalry. Philadelphia Eagles at Dallas, giving Dallas 3.5 points. Man, I don't know. That Dallas defense looked pretty good last week, and they obviously are putting up some points. George Pickens, CD Lamb, man, Dak and the Cowboys, they got a hell of a threat when it comes to the deep pass and just passes in general. I don't know. I'm still not sold on the Eagles. Like, I'm really not. I just don't believe in the Eagles. It's kind of weird, but they're 8-2, and the Cowboys are 3-5. But I find myself wanting to pick the Cowboys. Now, I don't know if that's the right choice, but I'm going to take the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys into this 31-26.
Oh, the Dallas defense did look improved last week. Was it because they were playing the Raiders, though, or is it because they're really improved? I know that the Philadelphia Eagles defense has definitely improved since Nakobe Dean has came back from injury. The trade for Jalen Phillips, he's been phenomenal so far, even though he's been a real scumbag about the things he's said, throwing shade towards the Dolphins. Like I said, I'm cool that you're happy with your newfound success, your new team, but let's not act like you were some kind of world beater here in Miami, and we were just holding you back. You know what I mean? You cost us multiple games this year. But Philly's defense has been better since Jalen Phillips and Nakobe Dean. And like I said, Dallas's defense did look better against the Raiders, but this week they got Jalen Hurts, they got Saquon Barkley, they got AJ Brown, they got all the weapons that the Philadelphia Eagles have. This is going to be a much different test. Dak has won 18 straight home division games, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. That's a pretty long streak. He's tied with Brett Favre for the second longest winning streak by a starting quarterback since the 1970 merger. This offense for the Dallas Cowboys looks scary good at times. I think I'm going to have to go with Dallas too. I think that Dallas is the more explosive offense. I think Philly should have the better offense, but I do think Jalen Hurts is limited at quarterback. And I know a lot of people will give me, say a lot of things about that and say I'm a hater, this, that, and third. But I think Jalen Hurts has been blessed with a great surrounding cast of players. And I think at times when that offense struggles, it's because Jalen Hurts is limited. He's not the greatest thrower of the football. He's a phenomenal athlete. He can run the football with the best of them at quarterback. But when it comes to throwing the football, I think he struggles at times. So I think Dallas does do enough to win this game. Dak keeps that streak intact, making it 19 in a row. I'm going to say 28-27, Dallas.
28-27?
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminded me of the Buffalo game. I forgot he was 8 and Josh Allen was 8-0 in Thursday night football games until that Thursday. So I forgot that's a stat I forgot during the Buffalo talk. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sold on Philly either. Let's see. Falcons at the Saints, 3-7 Falcons, 2-8 Saints. Saints are giving the Falcons a 1.5 points. I don't know. These two teams, they're bottom of the barrel. I don't really give two flying fornications. They're not going to be in the playoffs. But I'm going to take the Saints. I really am. Saints 20 to 14.
Yeah, listen, Atlanta's been a complete disaster this year. Because they've looked good at times, and then other times they just complete letdowns. Michael Penix is out again. Kirk Cousins has been horrible. The fact that the Saints are at home, Atlanta's without Drake London again. I gotta go with the Saints. They did release Brandon Cooks, which was a head scratcher to me. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Saints 2017.
Yep. Pretty simple. Vikings, Packers. Vikings coming in at, oh, Jesus. I can't even see. I don't know. JJ hasn't looked good. I think, like we've talked about before, they made a mistake when they decided on the quarterback situation. Man, sucks to be them. But, it is what it is. I'm not a Vikings fan anyway. Packers haven't played their best football. I think they're capable of more. I really do. Just the talent they have on the team. And, like at the beginning of the year, I was picking Green Bay to win the whole NFC. So I don't know if that's going to happen, obviously, but I still think Green Bay is a better team than the Vikings. I think they're going to rebound this week. I think it's going to be a good game. I think we're looking at 26-23 Green Bay.
Josh Jacobs is out for this game, right?
I think so. He did get hurt. I forgot about that too. That was a rough game, man. The Giants and the Green Bay, and Josh Jacobs got hurt. I think even Love got hurt for a series or so, and we still got our asses kicked. So, yeah.
Kevin O'Connell's won 38 games since taking over as the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. 33 of those have came when they've either been tied or had the lead in turnovers. They've struggled with turnovers this year. I want to say they're second. They have the second most turnovers with 18, and they're tied for the sixth fewest takeaways with 9. Brian Flores typically has a good defense. They just haven't been able to turn the ball over like they like. Brian Flores says he believes in the process. I believe in Brian Flores. I think, I hate him as a person because of the things he did in Miami. And snitches get stitches, you know what I mean? But but Brian Flores is a hell of a defensive coach. The Packers have struggled offensively, and now that you take Josh Jacobs off the field, I don't think that helps their cause. I like the Minnesota Vikings in this one. I think it's a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 17-13 Vikings.
Yes, sir. That's our first discrepancy of the evening. Very nice. 2-9 Giants at the 6-4 Lions. Man, the Giants' offensive line did do good last week. They kept Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary at bay last week. So I'm not really worried about offense. I think we can score some points. But are we going to be able to hang with the Detroit Lions? I don't know. Jackson Dart's still out with the concussion protocol. I guess he didn't make any negative progress. They just didn't make the progress that they wanted him to. Man, this is hard. They're giving the Giants 10.5 points. So obviously they're expecting the Lions to destroy us. And, I don't blame them. And that is the reason. I just think the Giants have issues stopping the run, and they got Gibbs and Montgomery, and it's not good. It's not going to be pretty. I really don't think it's going to be good. I think they're going to run the ball all over us. And I think the Lions are actually going to cover that 10.5 points. So I got the Lions in this one 34-17.
Well, breaking news coming across ESPN: half the Giants players have signed to the WWE. They got WWE contracts led by Cam Scadaboo and Abdul Carter. They're forming a tag. They're forming a tag team. This is crazy, unprecedented. Listen, I turned on Monday Night Raw last week, and there's Cam Scadaboo sitting front row with his broken in half leg, involved in a skit on WWE. You know what I mean? Like getting into it with a wrestler. Like, dude, your leg is broken in half. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Like the slightest slip could have, put you back in the hospital. But on a serious note, I thought Detroit would be one of the better teams in the league, and I think they still are. They have a very explosive offense, but Jared Goff, he was bad last week. Jared Goff was bad last week.
Yeah.
Jared Goff's not an elite quarterback. He's a very good quarterback, but not elite, and he has those types of games. I just think there's too many injuries, too many things going on for the Giants to compete. Since Dan Campbell's taken over for the Detroit Lions as head coach, they've gone for it a whopping 32% of the time on fourth down, by far the most in the NFL. Dan Campbell was drafted by the New York Giants back in the day, so this game needs a little bit more to him. I think the Lions come to play. I got the Lions 38-20.
Fair enough. Seattle Seahawks 7-3 at the Titans 1-9. I mean, this one's pretty self-explanatory. Seattle's coming off that tough end-of-game loss to the Rams. I'm going to just go Seahawks on this one. I'm not going to waste too much time. 34-17.
Yeah, Cam Ward continues to struggle. Number one pick in the draft. He's 32nd total QBR. Not surprising that the Titans have struggled this year. Sam Darnold, yeah, they lost to the Rams last week, but this is one of the better teams in all of football. I hate to say it because I'm not a Sam Darnold guy, but the guy continues to be a good NFL starting quarterback. This game shouldn't be close. I think Seattle wins by 2 touchdowns. At the very least, I'm going to say 34-13. That's
Fair
3
enough.
touchdowns, right?
Yeah, roughly. So, I mean, this is a pretty big game for the Chiefs. 8-2 Colts goes to Kansas City at 5-5. The Kansas City Chiefs they're not even close to what they did last year. In one-score games, I think they had like 11 wins or something crazy last year. We kept saying, oh, this can't keep happening. This can't keep happening. And it happened all year till they got to the Super Bowl and lost. But this year I think they have 0 wins in the one-score game. The Colts didn't play that great. Danny Jones hasn't been playing that great. 7 giveaways in his last 2 games. Chris Jones is going to have a big game. They have to shut down Taylor, who is arguably one of the best, probably one of the in the MVP conversation. I don't think he's obviously the MVP, but man, Mahomes has never lost 3 straight games. He's at 2. I'm taking the Colts. I'm taking Indiana Jones and the Colts 35-26.
See, this is the game that you think that the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't have a chance to win because of how good Indianapolis has played this year. But I think this is exactly the game that Patrick Mahomes comes out and shows how great he is. I This is the type of game that Patrick Mahomes. Lots of times, I feel like Patrick Mahomes struggles to get himself elevated to play regular season games because he's played so many important games in his career. You know what I'm saying? He's played so
Right.
many high pressure games in his career that the regular season, it's hard for Pat Mahomes to get amped up. And I think Pat Mahomes realizes that the Kansas City's Chiefs need to have a sense of urgency. They're in danger of missing out on the playoffs just because that it's so compact in the AFC right now. I think Pat Mahomes comes out and just balls. He balls to the wall. He shows why he is the greatest quarterback of this era. Daniel Jones last two games has 4 interceptions. You know, he's been turning the ball over. Kansas City, they got Rice in the slot lots of times. Indianapolis gives up 38% of their receiving yards to the slot. I think Rice has a huge game. I like Kansas City in this one. Twenty-eight, 24.
Fair enough. Second discrepancy of the evening. All right, 9-2 Patriots at the 3-7 Bengals. I mean, Flacco starting. They started off. Flacco gives a little bit of, I don't know. He can have a big game, but is he going to have a big game? I don't think so. I think this Patriots team is on a roll. I think they're on 8 straight, going for 9. Meanwhile, the Bengals are on a 3-game skid. They've lost to the Jets. They've lost to Chicago. They lost to Pittsburgh. They got smoked by Pittsburgh, 34-12. So I like what Drake May's doing. I like what he's doing with this team. I think he is an MVP candidate. I'm taking the Patriots in this one. I think they smoke the Bengals. I think it's let's go 39-14 Patriots.
Yeah, Joe Burrow could be back for this one, but Jamar Chase being suspended for spitting on Jalen Ramsey last week.
I know.
Which I find funny, you know. Listen, New England's been phenomenal this year. They're 5-0 on the road this year, the only undefeated team on the road. I just think it's going to be a little too much without Jamar Chase there. If Jamar Chase was there, I'd give them a chance, especially if Joe Burrow plays. But I gotta give the Patriots their credit, and they've been really good this year, better than what I thought they'd be. I got the Patriots 31-24.
Gave him that Huck Tui. All right.
I think
6-4
T. Higgins has a
Steel-
monster game, though. I think T. Higgins has a monster game and shows that, you know, he can be a true number 1 receiver.
Okay. T. Higgins, big game. All right, 6-4 Steelers at the 7-3 Bears. Man, Chicago 7-1 in their last 8 games after their 0-2 start. The Bears' run game has picked up, has looked pretty good. Rodgers is a little banged up, fractured left wrist. I think the Bears are starting to play some good football. I really do. I think they can be a problem. I'm taking the Bears in this game, and I'm going to give the Bears the victory. I think it's a close one again. Let's go 27-25.
Man, is it just me or the Bears being 7-3 sneak up on you, right?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
great.
it just doesn't seem like that they're playing at that level or that they're sitting at 7-3. You would think maybe I don't know, 5-5, 4-6, something along those lines. Never did I
Right.
think that the Bears were 7-3. You know, when I looked at it, I had to do a
Leading the
double
NFC
take.
North. Yeah.
Uh, Minnesota was ultra aggressive last week against Caleb Williams, blitzing him 66% of the time. I think the Steelers try to do that because Minnesota did have some success.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it comes down to whether Aaron Rodgers plays. I don't even know if it truly matters if he plays though.
Yeah, I don't think
I
so.
think the Bears are just a tougher team right now. So I got to go with the Bears. I'm going to say 21-20 Bears.
21-20. The Bears. All right. The New York Jets, 2-8 at the 5-5 Baltimore Ravens. You know, the Ravens are on a win streak. Like, I think they got 4 straight. They beat Chicago. They beat Miami. They beat Minnesota. They beat Cleveland, which I don't know. It's like they got a bunch of shitty teams. So I shouldn't expect any less. I think they're going to beat the Jets. You know, the Jets might hang around. They might not. You just don't know what you're getting week by week with the Jets. I'm taking the Ravens 34-13.
Yeah, I like the Ravens too. I think the Ravens are making their run. You know, they had a lot of injuries at the beginning of the season. I think they continue the build on the last few weeks. I think by the end of the season, they're one of the top teams in the NFL, and they'll be one of the favorites to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Justin Fields is getting sat down in this one. I do like Tyrod Taylor a lot. I think he is one of the better backup quarterbacks in the NFL. I just think they're super outmatched in this game, and the Jets don't have the talent to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. So I like Baltimore 34-13.
All right. Moving into Sunday night football, 6-4 Bucks at the 8-2 Rams. I just, my faith in the Buccaneers isn't really there like it was. Now, can they get it back together? Can they do it? Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a possibility. But they're going and they're playing the Rams, and the Rams have proved to be healthier, more trustworthy team. Matthew Stafford, MVP caliber season. I think that's just too much for Tampa Bay. I got the Rams 27-24.
Yeah, there's not a tougher guy in the NFL than Baker Mayfield. He's the guy that you want to go to war with. He's just got that gladiator in him. I just think the Rams are too good of a football team. They feel like they're truly one of the better teams in the NFL. The Bucks, I think, can beat anybody on any given Sunday. I just think the Rams are the better team at this point. Would I be surprised if the Bucks win this football game? No, but I like the Rams. I'm going to say Matthew Stafford continues his push for another MVP, and they win 35-28.
All right, big dog. We're gonna close it out with Monday Night Football. 6-5 Carolina Panthers at the 7-4
6-5.
Yeah,
Panthers ain't 6-5.
yeah, they are.
No, the fuck they're not.
I'm pretty sure they are.
No, the fuck they're not.
Let me see.
They got like 3 wins, bro.
That is not even true. Panthers 6-5, motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
I swear to God. 6-5 Panthers at the 7-4 49ers.
That can't be right.
I'm telling you, it's fucking right. I was right about week 12, and I'm fucking right about the 6-5. I'm looking at it in 3 different places.
That don't even make sense to me. Where did they come with 6 wins from?
Well, I
That's
mean,
more shocking than the Bears having 7.
well, I mean, they beat Atlanta, they beat Miami, they beat Dallas, they beat the Jets, they beat Green Bay, they beat Atlanta again. Now, some will argue who the hell have they really beaten other than Green Bay, but that's hard to say too because Green Bay's been up and down all season as well. So I think this is gonna be a pretty good game. I think the 49ers come out on top on this game, 31-23. But man, them Panthers are 6-5. They're there. They're there. They have an
I can't
opportunity.
believe that shit. Like that shit got my mind blown right now.
It's
Like,
not,
I was like, no, the fuck they're not. They got
I
3
thought
wins. What?
I thought they had 4 or 5, but when I checked out it when I was looking at it earlier and I was going over my notes, I was like, I thought it was wrong too. But 6-5 Panthers, but I'm taking San Fran 31-23.
Yeah, I'm
And
taking
that
San Fran too. This is Christian McCaffrey's game. Get a little playback against his former Carolina Panthers team. He's been phenomenal this year, doing Christian McCaffrey things, especially through the air. I'll say 27-17 49ers.
17 49ers. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. All right. Guess we get into
So we'll do a little offensive, defensive, your rookie of the year, and then MVP.
MVP.
So, I mean, I'm going to throw this one to you first because you have a stake in this one. Rookie of the year. Who's your rookie of the year so far? I know you got Cam over there. You got Jackson Dart. You got Abdul.
Is it rookie of the year or do they do the defense and offense?
I think they do defense and offense. They might even do one for each conference. I'm not sure.
Right. So for offensive rookie of the year, I had it between Tampa's wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, who has over 700 yards, 6 receiving touchdowns. He's averaging almost 16 yards per catch. He has a long of 37. And I put it with him and Jackson Dart. And I got Jackson Dart taking the offensive rookie of the year. Just what he's been able to do is rushing touchdowns. He's got 7 of those. He's got 10 passing touchdowns. He's only threw 3 picks. He's got a quarterback rating of 93.5. 317 rushing yards. He's averaging over 5.5 yards per carry. That's 17 total touchdowns. And he came in week 4, I believe. And he hasn't played. He didn't play last week. He's not going to play this week. But the numbers he's put up just from those games that he has been in has been pretty exceptional for me. So I'm taking Jackson. I like Jackson. I have a little bit of a bias on that. So let's see if you got something different. Jackson Dart is my offensive rookie of the year.
I like Jackson Dart too. I mean, typically quarterbacks get the edge when it comes to the awards. He didn't start till week 4, like you said. He has missed a couple of games. I think he has kept his team alive in games that I thought they would be considerably handled in, if that's the right way to say it. Games I thought that they'd have no chance in winning. I take a look at the scoreboard in the 4th quarter, and the Giants are still hanging around. And I give a lot of credit to Cam Scatterboot, but Cam's been out. Been out. Neighbors has been out. So Jackson Dart deserves a lot of credit, a ton of credit. I think he'll improve on his stats. I think he'll continue to get better. And I think the New York Giants made a smart pick when they picked Jackson Dart. At the very least, he gives this team in this city a sense of excitement, something to look forward to. And I think he ends up taking home the offensive rookie of the year simply because first and foremost, he's a quarterback. Secondly, he's just people like to cheer for him. He's a
Right.
fan favorite. People are in love with him. I like Jackson Dart also.
Okay. Okay. I dig it. I dig it. All right, where are you going now? Defensive rookie of the year?
Sure.
All right. Dart. Sorry, I was writing this down. I had this between Abdul Carter and Carson Schlesinger, linebacker for Cleveland. I ended up giving it to Carson. 38 tackles, 32 solos, a sack and a half, and 2 passes defended. I think Abdul Carter could have definitely got the defensive rookie of the year. He's got a crazy amount of pressures, like 37 or something like that, and then he's got 20 quick pressures, which is like third. I think he has the potential, but I don't think that. I mean, yeah, the pressures are a big deal, but I think it comes down to sacks. When you're talking about defense, it comes down to sacks. It comes down; those are important. And I just think Carson Schlesinger is a little bit more standoutish than Abdul Carter right now, especially with all the stuff saying that he's showing up to late to walkthroughs and all this, that, and the other. He doesn't deserve it in my book, so I give it to Cleveland's Carson Schlesinger, linebacker.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. I also like Jalen Walker. I think Carter ends up taking it by the end of the year, though. I think he ends up hitting some kind of stride at the end of the season. And I think he's got the most talent. He was phenomenal in college, very explosive pass rusher. So I think Abdul ends up winning that award. And I think the Giants get a clean sweep of the rookies of the year, which is it's a promising thing if you're a New York Giants fan to get offensive and defensive rookie of the year.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
And that happened a couple of years ago too with I want to say the Jets maybe. I think the Jets had it too. They had Wilson, offensive rookie of the year, and then Sauce Gardner was defensive rookie of the year. Hopefully that turns out better for the New York Giants than it did for the New York Jets, but we shall see.
Facts. Yeah. All right, where next, boss?
Let's go offensive player of the year.
Okay. All right, so I had it down to 2. I had it down to Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, running back, and I had Jackson Smith-Njigba. Jonathan Taylor, almost 1,139 rushing yards, 8 rushes of 20-plus yards, 15 touchdowns. He has 4 rushes of 40-plus yards, a long of 83. He's got 58 rushes for a first downs. He's got his rushing first down percentage is 30.7, which is first. Then he's also got 260 reception yards, 2 reception TDs, and a 40-plus yard reception, and he has 294 yards after the catch. And then I had Jackson Smith-Njigba with 72 receptions, 1,146 yards, 5 touchdowns, 19 receptions over 20 yards, 6 over 40 with a long of 52. He has 52 first down receptions and a yak of 276. I thought this was pretty close. I thought this, in my opinion, I think they're both right there, but I think Jonathan Taylor just edges Jackson Smith-Njigba out a little bit. So I'm giving Offensive Player of the Year to Jonathan Taylor for the Colts.
Yeah, I think that's the only answer there is at this point. I think is Jonathan Taylor. He absolutely 100% deserves it. We know that he's not going to win MVP. You got to have a crazy, even a historically good year is not going to typically win you MVP at the running back position or any other position. Look at the year Saquon Barkley had last year. Over 2,000 yards, the amount of touchdowns. Far and away the best player in the league, yet they handed the award to a quarterback.
Right.
The MVP should strictly be, this is the quarterback award only. You know what I mean? Because it is far and few between any other position but quarterback winning that award. Jonathan Taylor, like I said, that's the only answer for offensive MVP. He's been phenomenal. 17 total touchdowns, almost 1,400 total yards so far. Just an absolute beast. Indianapolis, one of the best teams in the NFL. Although I think Daniel Jones is good, he is what runs this offense in Indianapolis. He's what makes it go. He is the key element to them being 8-2. Jonathan Taylor, 100%.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Defensive player of the year, I had Myles Garrett and Brian Burns. It's very hard. It's very hard, in my opinion, to give awards to people that are on teams that only have 2 wins. Garrett is leading with 2 more sacks than Brian Burns. But Burns is leading in tackles. He's leading in assists. He has 7 passes defended. And, I know I have a bias, but I just, I think Myles Garrett has made a bigger difference for Cleveland, but I think that Brian Burns has played better defense for the Giants. I'm taking Brian Burns as my defensive player of the year.
Well, yeah, those are the 2 most popular names, but after last night's game, don't put it past Will Anderson or Danielle Hunter from winning this award. Both them guys had great games last night. Both those guys got over 10 sacks on the season, multiple forced fumbles. Both those guys are playing at a very high level. That defense is trending upwards, a super elite defense, and they have the capability to put up huge sack numbers down the stretch. I think if you have to give it to somebody right now, it probably does got to be Myles Garrett. But there's still a lot of games to be played, and I wouldn't put it past Houston's duo of jumping up there and stealing it away from one of those guys.
Fair enough. All right, what's left? MVP?
Let's go coach of the year so far.
Coach of the year, I kind of just floated this one out. Man, I like the Rams. What's his name? Sean. I like him. I would say the Colts. What's his name? Shane Steichen or whatever fudge his name is. But I just don't think that's the case. I think you could even give it to Seattle's Mike McDonald, but I'm giving it to Vrabel. This Patriots team is just like, it's almost like you're watching the Patriots with Tom Brady. Like it really is. It's got to be exciting for the Patriots fans. I know it sucks because they're in your division, but I mean, to see where the Patriots have come from in just this year compared to the last few years, it's honestly amazing. So I'm giving my coach of the year right now to Mike Vrabel for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with Vrabel, but a name that you had mentioned earlier, Shane Steichen, I think there's no other name that really deserves to be on that list other than his. He took Daniel Jones, the New York Giants throwaway. They didn't even let him get to the end of the season last year, and they released him. You know what I mean? They took him and they turned him back into a franchise quarterback. So I think you got to give him a super amount of credit. I don't think most people thought Indianapolis would be in the position they're in right now, sitting on top of the AFC South, one of the best records in the AFC. They got possibly the MVP of the NFL on their team and Jonathan Taylor. At the very least, the offensive MVP. So I think Shane Steichen is the answer. Drake May was a top draft pick, someone that people felt like was going to have a great year this year. They added a lot of pieces. They went out and they had a lot of money in free agency that they spent on their defense. So I don't think it's that surprising that that New England's good. You know what I mean?
Right.
As much as it's a surprise that Indianapolis is good.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I get that. That's why I had him on my list. All right, I guess that leaves us with MVP.
It certainly does.
I had this with I was between Stafford and May. I don't think it's a shocker. But May's leading in passing yards. He's yards per attempt. He's leading in that. He's leading in completion percentage. He's leading in QB rate. He's leading in completions of 20 plus yards. He's leading in completions of 40 plus yards. The only thing Stafford has him outdone is 27 touchdowns to his 20 and 2 interceptions to his 5. I'm taking Drake May at this point. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of football left to be played. Drake May is my MVP so far.
Drake May is your MVP so far.
Although I will say it was hard for me to pick because I think Stafford is playing amazing. Like I really wanted to pick Stafford, but when I was looking at the stats, I mean, stats don't lie. You know, I got 6-2 in certain stats. Drake May's leading, so I had to go that way.
Yeah, I feel you, dog. I feel you, dog. I'm going the old man route. I'm going with Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford has been phenomenal to me. Listen, Drake May's had a great year. Don't get me wrong. Drake May has absolutely had a great year, but let's not forget how great of a year Matthew Stafford's having. You know, Matthew Stafford went to the season an old man, back injuries, back issues. Drake May's got a lot of time left to be able to win awards. Matthew Stafford, you act like 7-8 touchdowns isn't a big difference. You know what I mean? That's a huge difference. 8 more passing touchdowns, that's a huge difference. It's not. We're not talking 1 or 2. We're talking 7-8 touchdowns. That's a lot of points. Turn the ball over 3 less times. That's a big deal also. That's double the turnovers. I just think Matthew Stafford has played at such an elite level this year that, you know, I think that Matthew Stafford, like, listen, it's a beautiful little story over there in New England. Good for them. You know, they were bad for a couple of years after being good for 20. You know, ooh, thanks. You know, so happy for them.
They're in your division, bro. Just because they're in your division, don't even. It's just because they're in your division. Yeah, exactly. It's just because they're in your division. Don't even act like there's no bias in that shit.
Man, yeah, Matthew Stafford is the answer. You know, Drake May, could he win it by the end of the year? Sure, but 8 touchdown gap, it's too much. It's too much for me. And then, of course, you got to throw names out there like Josh Allen. Although Josh Allen has turned back into the old Josh Allen where he's turnover prone. But you can't ignore the fact that he does have 10 rushing touchdowns, 400 yards rushing to go along with his passing stats. But I don't think he gets to. Yeah, I don't think he gets to steal the MVP award this year. So,
right.
I'm not going to let that go. He stole that award last year. He was given it. He was given that award unjust. But yeah,
I agree. I think we both came.
King Jamie says, "Who is the backup quarterback of the year?" I would have to say Jacoby Brissett, probably.
Yeah.
Davis Mills, he's won 3 straight games for Houston.
Yeah, that's true too. Oh man.
I
didn't even think about that. I should have thought of that.
Mac Jones played really well for San Francisco.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was out. Yeah. So that's the awards list. You know, like I said, this has been one of the craziest years that I can remember in pro football. I think the conferences are wide open. I think usually you can pinpoint the four or so teams that are going to make it to the Super Bowl, and I don't know if you can do that this year. Don't know if you can sit there and bet the house on you can name the four teams that are going to be in the championship games. I just feel like, the NFC I feel like is a little bit more laid out, but the AFC there's probably 8 or 9 teams that I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the Super Bowl at the AFC.
Right.
Some of them I think are a little bit longer shot than others, but I think there's probably that many. I mean, if you just rattle them off real quick, New England, Buffalo, you got Indianapolis, Houston, Jacksonville,
the Broncos.
You got the Broncos, the Chargers, the Chiefs. That's 8 right there, and we haven't even mentioned the Steelers, the Ravens. That's 10 teams right there that, would you be surprised? I mean, I would have to say if Indy made the Super Bowl, I'd be a little like, wow, I can't believe that. After watching Houston's defense last night, I can't say I'd really be surprised.
Exactly.
That defense is crazy. That defense is crazy.
8 sacks, man.
That's 9 teams that I wouldn't be shocked to say that those are that's the team representing the AFC. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then if you even push it out a little bit more, I mean, I do think the Miami Dolphins are going to be competing for a playoff spot because of how their schedule is set up. I'd be shocked if they made the Super Bowl. Don't get me wrong. Joe Burrow coming back for the Bengals. You know what I mean? You know what that offense can do. So those are a little bit more stretchy names. You know what I mean? But that takes you all the way out to 12 teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
they definitely have more competition over in the AFC. More possibilities.
Whereas the NFC, I think you got the Rams. I think you got Seattle.
Seahawks. Yeah.
I mean,
Niners.
I guess you could put the Niners up there, but I'm not very high on the Niners. I know they got a winning record, but I'm not super high on them. You got the Bears who are 7-3, but you got Detroit, and then
the Packers.
Somehow you got Carolina, which I still can't get that. They have a chance of winning that division. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
I didn't think they were nowhere near sniffing the top of that.
Yeah, they're a game back, man. That's crazy. It is very crazy.
Definitely a very open season. A lot to be played out still. It's gonna be interesting down the stretch. Wish my team was, in the thick of things. We just, with the way that our roster is built, and you throw in the injuries to Tyreek Hill, and it's just a lost cause at this point for the Miami Dolphins. But I do wish that in a year that things are wide open, I just wish we would have a better opportunity.
Hog Dog, what's up with fantasy?
For the future.
What do you mean? What's
fantasy
up with fantasy?
Football? Struggling right now. I had a win last week. I had a win, and then it got pulled off and pulled between my fingers. I think I got the most points scored against me in fantasy this year of all the teams, which that seems like it typically happens. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going against number 1 this week. But fortunate for me, he has Josh Allen, and Josh Allen only gave him 6.65 points. So I have a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, Elwood, this is your first time playing fantasy, right? You're doing fairly well. Fairly well, my brother. Fairly well.
Very, very true.
But yeah, I listened to all the fan out there. I took a little break this week because it was the bye week. You know, not a whole lot to talk about. Be back full fledged. You know, Monday. Sunday I'll do hardcore sports like I typically do Sunday morning. Mike, you can jump into that if you want. I can send you a link if you're up.
Oh yeah, what time do they do that?
10, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I'm usually pretty tired at
It's
that.
like three. It's like 3 or 4 of us that talk. It's an okay time though. Like it might be a situation where you could, you know what I mean, do something.
Oh yeah,
with them
for sure.
too. It'd be an opportunity for you to be connected and get your channel out there more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely keep that in mind. Absolutely.
All right,
because I will be doing the watch party
else,
for
Mike
the Giants
Jones?
game.
You doing a
No,
watch
man.
party?
You guys. Yeah, I'm gonna do a watch party Sunday for the Giants game. Just in case, man. Just in case. You know, I stay positive, and you know maybe the Giants pull one out. But at the same time, if we don't, I'm still looking forward. You know, I'm looking forward. We're gonna have a top 5 pick more than likely. So we have a good opportunity to get a decent coach. We have so much good things that a coach would want coming to this situation compared to other situations. So, you know, I'm staying positive, but I'm gonna still do this watch party on Sunday for the Detroit game. That's for sure.
Yeah,
What do you need help with, Wood?
He said Brock or Brissett. I'd probably go with Brissett. I mean, Brissett, I think, gives you the higher, you know what I mean, the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
I think he's more likely to throw for more yards, more touchdowns.
I would agree. I would agree with that.
I think the 49ers will lean on Christian McCaffrey more.
Yep.
All right, folks. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Laces Out Live. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to all 3 channels. Help us continue to grow. Help us continue to build. You guys mean so much to us, and we love you so much. We enjoy talking to you. You know, just such a great time. And fins up.
Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to